when we're simplifying these, and you'll get all types, the big thing you have to remember is you deal with the index first. The 6th root of 64 is 2. And then I'm raising that to the 4th power, which is 16. So once again, we always deal with the index first. Here we have a 4 on the outside we'll deal with later. The cube root of negative 8 is negative 2. Okay? And then 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. You can have a negative when the index is odd. You're not going to have a negative when the index is even. Now, when it's raised to a fraction, I always like to convert it to a radical. And once again, nobody wants to do 243 to the 4th power. Deal with your index first. The 5th root of 243 is 3. And 3 to the 4th is 81. So, we have the negative exponent. You always deal with the negative exponent first, which means you have movement. Now we're going to take the 6th root of 64 and raise it to the 5th power. The 6th root of 64 is 2. And 2 to the 5th is 32. So my answer is 1 over 32. The 5th root of negative 32 is negative 2. I'm now raising that to the 4th. Negative 2 to the 4th is a positive 16. Whenever you raise a negative number to an even exponent, it becomes positive. Negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. Negative 8 times negative 2 is 16. And 3 times 16 is 48. And finally, the cube root of negative 8 to the 5th. The cube root of negative 8 is negative 2. And negative 2 to the 5th is negative 32. Same base, we're adding. That's what you need to get out of this. I have the same base, I'm leaving it. And I've got to be able to add 5 halves and 3/4. We have to be able to add fractions. This becomes 2 over 2. So that gets me my 10 over 4 plus 3 over 4. Boom. And we get 13 over 4 as an answer. You're going to get answers that you're probably not going to be able to work out. That's okay. You just leave them as a base raised to an exponent. Here, we don't have the same base. Okay? So I'm just going to be able to really distribute the 5 here. This is going to be 5 cubed and 6 to the 1/2. We're just distributing that exponent. Now, I could write my final answer as this. All right. Same base, we're dividing. We keep the base, we subtract the exponents. Once again, you've got to get a common denominator here. 3 over 3, 4 over 4. 21 over 24 minus 20 over 24. And that's 1 to the 20, or 5 to the 1 over 24. That's your answer. 24 to the 3/4 over 4 to the 3/4. We're going to distribute that 4 to both terms. And we're going to get, sorry about that, 24 cubed over 4 cubed. If I have the same exponent but a different base, I can do this. 24 over 4 cubed. 24 over 4 is 6. and 6 cubed is 216. We're going to distribute the 3 to both terms. X to the 6th, y to the 15th. We're going to distribute the 3 to both terms. X to the 9th, y to the negative 24th. X to the 6th, x to the 9th, x to the 15th. 15th to negative 24th is negative 9. So, exponent to an exponent we multiply. Similar base we add. We don't leave a negative exponent. Second one, I'm going to distribute. Actually, before I distribute, I'm going to recopy the problem. X to the 0 means 1, so it can kind of go away. And even if you distribute the 3 to it, 3 to the 0 is, or 3 times 0 is 1. I think that might be your better option. 2 cubed, 8. X to the 12th, z cubed. I'm just multiplying the 3 to the 4 and the 1. 3 cubed is 27. Y squared cubed is y to the 6th. Z to the 6th cubed is z to the 18th. Now 27 times 8 is what? Someone put that in the calculator. Tell me what it is. 216? So 216. X to the 12th, nothing to combine with x. Y to the 6th, nothing to combine with y. But z cubed, z to the 18th, z to the 21st. Whenever you have a fraction raised to an exponent, I always think it's easier to get the number smaller. I'm going to reduce this fraction in the parentheses first. 15 over 6 is 5 over 2. 5 minus a negative 9 is 14. So it's x to the 14th. Negative 7 minus 3, negative 7 minus a negative 3 is negative 4. So y to the 4th goes on the bottom. And 5 minus 1 is 4. We raise it all to the 3rd power. 125, x to the 42, z to the 12th. 2 cubed is 8, y to the 12th. When you have the negative exponent, I want to get it positive before I do anything else. 2, x to the negative 5th, y, z to the negative 3rd, to the 4th power. By moving it, okay, we put it in the denominator. 2 to the 4th is 16. X to the negative 20th, y to the 4th, z to the negative 12th. X to the 20th, z to the 12th, over 16y to the 4th. If you are raised to a negative exponent in your denominator, you move up. Remember, negative exponent represents movement. If you are raised to a positive exponent, 16 to the 1, y to the 4th, you stay on the bottom. And then our last one, or next to last one on this page, excuse me. Whenever you have a fraction, I don't like reducing anything with a negative exponent. I want to deal with that negative exponent first. So if you have a negative exponent, right away, flip the fraction as is. With all the exponents, whether they're negative, positive, does not matter. Flip it as is, and that becomes a squared instead of a negative 2. 14 over 8. 7 over 4. There's nothing to do with the x squared, so I leave it on the bottom. 2 minus 5 is a negative 3. So y to the 3 is on the bottom. Negative 5 minus 4 is negative 9. So it's a z to the 9th on the bottom. And then we're squaring it. Seven squared, 49. 4 squared, 16. X to the 4th, y to the 6th, z to the 18th. And the last one's probably what I would consider a gift. We just distribute that 6. X to the 24th, y to the 24th. If you wanted to, you could write this as xy to the 24th. I would accept either answer, though. I would accept either answer. You have the same index, you can multiply. 16 times 4 is 64. And then we're looking to simplify. Now, if you know the 5th root of 64 and you can work from there, go ahead. You don't know it off the top of your head. We have 5 2's, so that goes on the outside. 5th root of 2 is our answer. You do need to simplify. 4 times 3 is 12. Root 10 times root 5 is root 50. 2 and 25, 5 and 5. So it's 12 times 5 root 2. So 60 root 2 is your answer. You multiply the numbers on the outside of the radical, the numbers on the inside of the radical. You're always looking to simplify if you can. Same deal here. 4 times 3 is 12. Root 12 times root 5 is root 60. Root 60, 2 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 5. So 12 times 2 root 15. And we get 24 root 15. Just like we can multiply when you have the same index, you can also divide. 64 over 2 is 32. And the 4th root of 32, 2 and 16, 2 and 8, 2 and 4, 2 and 2. 2, 4th root 2.